One thing that all vegans seem to have in common is the incredibly irritating habit of portraying every single human being that eats meat as a heartless monster who doesn't care about animals. My plan is to argue from a logical point of view that you can easily still be a loving, caring, and compassionate human being while paying for meat, cow's milk, and eggs. Let's do it. Dear vegans, unlike 200,000 years ago, we're not Neanderthals anymore. We have strict animal welfare laws that are put in place which dictate how animals are to be treated prior to slaughter, as well as what the most humane way to slaughter them is. We even have organizations that were created with the specific purpose of enforcing these laws. Ever heard of the RSPCA? That was my genuine opinion just 3 years ago, at which point I began to do my own research on the topic and quickly came to realize that these laws and organizations only really work to help marketing and advertising companies convince the consumer, you and I, that we're purchasing products that are ethical and necessary for our health and survival, when in reality we're purchasing products that are extremely unethical and actually detrimental to our own health. Here's how they do it. They convince consumers that these products are ethical by using misleading labels, such as, you see, humans are inherently good-natured creatures and they want to see the best in things, which is why when they see the label free range, they imagine happy chickens running around a big open grass field, because that's what they want that label to mean. The unfortunate reality behind free-range products are that while the individual confining apparatus, the cage, is taken away, the environment itself is kept relatively the same while more animals are added into that exact same enclosure. Now, as you can imagine, this results in fairly similar circumstances for the animals. Perhaps the most powerful marketing tool of all is the term RSPCA approved, because an organization dedicated to helping animals couldn't possibly be supporting animal cruelty, right? Their certified humane method of slaughter involves an incredibly painful gassing process, followed by the pigs having their throats slit, sometimes while fully conscious.
What the industry don't want us to know is that water and high levels of carbon dioxide will form carbonic acid on their eyes and every surface. So when the pigs inhale, even their lungs, throat, nose and mouth become acidic. In their last minutes, these pigs are burning from the inside out.
These marketing companies essentially rely on the general public's want to see the best in things, and for them to just imagine what these terms such as free range mean, instead of looking at the definitions for themselves. But this marketing employee says it a lot better than I do.
Well, my job is to make you want it, to crave it, to need it, to think that it is the best innovation in food since sliced bread. So when we think about where chickens, etc. come from, we think about something a bit like that. That's sort of our instinctive idea, but we all know if we really think about it, if we think about it deeply, it's probably a little bit more like that. But that's a lot nicer. So how do we give you this impression? We need a secret weapon, number 3. It is actually in this room right now. It is you. So how do we do it? When you're in the supermarket, you don't want to think about where those products have come from. You don't want to think about how those animals have been reared, how they've been treated. The power of willful ignorance cannot be overstated. This is systemized cruelty on a massive scale, and we only get away with it because everyone is prepared to look the other way.
And these companies convince consumers that animal products are necessary for their health and survival through a very intentional use of language. They essentially use one of 2 techniques. One, they'll associate a particular nutrient or group of nutrients with their product, which is why after being exposed to these kinds of advertisements for long periods of time, you likely associate protein with meat and calcium with cow's milk.
With protein to make you stronger.
There's B12, A and E, folate and omega-3s. Did I mention riboflavin?
Ladies, gotta go to work.
This causes the consumer to forget that they can find adequate amounts of these nutrients in plant-based sources, just like Germany's strongest man, Mr. Olympia of 2014, and Olympic lifting record breaker Kendrick Farris do. The other common technique is to associate their product with a sense of patriotic pride.
Are we smelling the lamb?
Yes, Prime Minister, the barbecue is lit.
Well done.
Well done. Never.
As you can imagine, this leads to the consumer feeling as though they will not fit in or they will not belong to their country if they do not purchase the product.
Well, mate, a few hours you'll be eating lamb on the beach.
But I'm a vegan now.
Abort.
Get him out of there.
Vegans.
Now I know I did do a bit of a sneaky move by tricking you into watching a video about veganism, but I do stand by my initial statement. I do believe that it's very possible for you to be a loving, caring and compassionate person while simultaneously contributing to animal abuse, so long as you're doing so because you've been successfully tricked into doing it by the marketing and advertising techniques listed in this video. So now that you know you have been lied to, you essentially have two options. Option number one is to pretend that you never saw this video and continue to buy those free-range and organic grass-fed products, even though deep down in your heart you will now know that they don't come from those happy farms that you originally thought they did. Option number two, which I highly recommend, is begin doing your own research into the topic, starting with this video, which goes into a bit more detail about how marketing and advertising companies convince and trick you into believing that these products are ethical and necessary. After that, start with this video, which shows how animals are treated on RSPCA approved farms in Australia. Now, if you're not watching this video from Australia and you're in somewhere else in the world, there are plenty of links in the description that will send you to other relevant places for you to do research on. So, option number one, option number two, yeah, do that one. So thanks for watching, guys, and please make the right choice.
Guess what takes no skills in life whatsoever? Being a vegan!